Nintendo Switch 2 dev kits already in the hands of indie developers, and that means this system is very close. Plus, it looks like we know exactly when they were sent out, and Mario Wonder is absolutely destroying expectations in the best way possible. Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. I am an ethereal voice. Once more, this is our week of Haunted Mansion. Mwahaha, I guess, because, I'm just a floating voice. As the Mario Wonder walkthrough continues on the channel, Mario Wonder is absolutely crushing sales figures, setting records as the fastest selling Mario game ever in Europe and as the fastest selling Mario Switch game in Japan. I think this is a little bit unexpected for some people because we maybe thought that a 2D Mario wouldn't have the same pull in 2023 as past 3D Marios, past Mario Parties, all the bigger, quote-unquote, bigger Mario titles. But once again, Nintendo proves that if done right, 2D platformers can have extreme success. And given the stellar reviews and the awesome originality of Mario Bros. Wonder, especially on the heels of the Mario Bros. Movie and Super Nintendo World, it just makes sense. The game pushed over 638,000 units in Japan, and to give you some comparisons, this is Japan, of course, so, it's Mario's homeland, but 638K for Mario, 77K for Spider-Man 2, 4,000 for Sonic. Pour one out for the blue-haired man. And I'm not talking about myself. Although I have been mistaken for Sonic multiple times. I get Ninja and Sonic now. It's the curse of the blue hair. I'm Ninja, I'm Sonic. But I really should be Toad, I guess, because that is the popular character of the day. And as I mentioned, in Europe, we don't have exact numbers, but it is the fastest selling Mario game ever in Europe. Cannot wait to see when United States numbers comes out and we get a global sort of read on how many copies this sold. It's going to be one of the best selling Switch games. There is such a huge install base. The game is getting rave reviews. It's being added to Game of the Year list in a year we've had plenty of tentpole AAA, gorgeous graphics, great games, and 2D Mario, because of its charm, because of its commitment to excellent gameplay, because of its purity, and because of its attempts and success at innovation, it's going to be right up there. It's going to be right up there with them, and I'm so freaking proud of it. So proud, I can't wait to see what Mario becomes on the next gen when they have access to even more power and better performance, graphical capabilities, etc. So let's dive into some Switch 2 development kit talk. Now, development kits are what goes out to developers so that they can make games and prep games for Switch 2. The way that this goes is Nintendo has dev kits obviously first for their internal EPD developers, the people making Mario Wonder, the people who make Zelda, the people that are going to be making the new 3D Mario. And then their sort of choice development partners will get access, and then big third parties, the Ubisofts of the world, the EAs will get access, and then indies. It looks like we have proof that indies already have access to Switch 2 dev kits, which is actually quite monumental. Don't write this off as just a little piece of news, because it would showcase and indicate that Nintendo Switch 2 is closer than you think. If indie devs already have it, this thing is on its way. And lately we've been talking about maybe the timeline for Switch 2 is accelerated. We just saw yesterday on Good Morning Mario that Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door could be releasing earlier than anticipated. It's already rated. That game could be a first half 2024 title instead of a second half 2024 title. And maybe Nintendo really is just moving through to get this Switch 2 to you earlier than next fall. Anyhow, let's get specific. This is a LinkedIn profile from our friend Dr. 81, and this comes from Serenity Forge. Now, if you're not familiar, Serenity Forge is an indie developer that primarily focuses on Nintendo Switch. They've made games like Death Gambit Afterlife, Doki Doki Literature Club Plus, Lisa. They've done quite a few Switch titles, and they've done quite a few, let's just say like indie games, right? This isn't like an indie studio trying to make Hellblade. These are like indie games. So you'll be a little bit surprised when it says that they're working on an unannounced UE5 project. Interesting that Serenity Forge would be working on a UE5 project, Unreal Engine 5, considering the Switch cannot run Unreal Engine 5, and none of their games in the past have come remotely close to Unreal Engine 5. Why are they working on Unreal Engine 5? Well, they're probably working on Unreal Engine 5 because they are working on Nintendo Switch 2 content. Now, if that doesn't sell you, that's fine, I understand. Maybe they got a contract. Maybe, people like Doki Doki Literature Club a lot. Death Gambit Afterlife did review well. Maybe they're working on something for a different console. But when you look at the current projects for Serenity Forge, it says TBA, narrative-driven game, okay, could be anything, and TBA, games for a groundbreaking new hardware. What the heck could that be besides Nintendo Switch 2, Super Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch Pro? Cut it up however you want. This cookie is crumbling in the direction of Nintendo. What other groundbreaking new hardware is even remotely possible at this time? Would you consider any sort of like half-generational boost for Xbox or PlayStation a groundbreaking new hardware? You know, we just got a terabyte Series S. That's not groundbreaking. A PS4 Pro is not groundbreaking. The Slim, obviously not groundbreaking. The Portal, not groundbreaking. Any of these like portable computers, we've had the Steam Deck for years now. The only groundbreaking new hardware out there, or about to be out there, is Nintendo Switch 2. It's the only one that's actually going to really change things. It's the only one that's actually going to really make a substantial difference. And it's the only one that's actually like a whole new generation of hardware. And that's why it really does seem like Serenity Forge has Switch 2 dev kits, is working on a UE5 project, and is building a game for groundbreaking new hardware. Games, plural, they say. And it shows that they probably have had Switch 2 dev kits for a bit now. And like I mentioned, this is substantial because this isn't just Ubisoft, right? We're not getting a leak from Activision saying, oh, guess what? You know, all that talk we've heard of Call of Duty coming to Switch, well, they have a Switch 2 dev kit. Of course they do. Of course they do, right? They're a preferred partner. They are a prime publisher. They would be having extreme access and extreme trust. But we're talking late stages of Nintendo's Switch 2 preparation if indie developers do have the system in store. And another subsequent post from Dr. 81 indicates that this might have dated back to July, which means that indie devs could have had these consoles for already 3+ months. This is an actual Nintendo post on LinkedIn from a technical planner, okay? This person is responsible for planning and executing the receipt, tracking, and transfer of development hardware and software systems instrumental to the support of game development activities. In layman's terms, they were responsible for sending out Switch 2 dev kits, straight up in their job description. Now, they worked in Redmond at Nintendo of America HQ from August 2019 to July 2023. All right, their time ended July 2023, and then they moved on to still be with Nintendo as an application developer. They weren't fired, they weren't let go, they were transferred. Now, why would they be transferred? Well, a good thing to transfer is once the project is complete, and the project in question here would be supplying Switch 2 dev hardware to requisite partners, indies, and more. And this person's job as technical planner ended in July 2023, and lo and behold, we started getting rumors about Switch 2 dev kits being out there in July of 2023. So the dev kits are mailed out, the process has been complete, the tracking, transfer, and receipts have been acquired, and then leaks start to happen that dev kits have gone out. Now, at the time back in July, people said, hogwash. Switch they're not sending out stuff yet, no way. This is just a random rumor, it's not ready, it's not time, this is late 2024 or beyond. Well, now we have so many different little anecdotes that are adding up to paint a picture where Nintendo Switch 2 could launch earlier than anticipated, where Nintendo Switch 2 could in fact launch the first half of 2024, or maybe in the summer, early fall. I now do not believe that October, November, December is even a possibility. I think September is the latest this system will release, and we're truly looking at anywhere from like March to September as for when the Switch 2 could launch. Summer seems like an odd time to do it, but maybe they want to be a little bit odd. They had extreme success launching in March with the Switch 1, and they kind of proved that they are month agnostic, right? They are not limited by the season. They are only limited by when they decide to drop it. It is going to sell, it is going to produce, and it's going to push many units. If Serenity Forge, who, no shade to them, are not a major indie developer, they're not making like Hollow Knight, they're not making, the next Celeste, they're not making massive, major, huge, well-received indie titles. They're making smaller games that are good. If they have Switch 2 dev kits, if these have been out since July, we are well on our way to having plenty of games ported and prepped and developed and ready to have a much bigger Switch 2 launch than we did Switch 1. I think that was already kind of like a given because of where Nintendo is in the market right now. Like their space, or the space that they've created, is one where Nintendo is dominant, as opposed to Nintendo being on the way out after Wii U. Shaky ground? No, now it's strength. Complete and total domination. We're selling a Mario game in the 7th year of the system that's crushing all records destroying all of its competitors. This is shaping up to be an epic launch, and it's shaping up to be a launch that might be sooner than you think. So let me know in the comments down below what you think about indie devs already having their hands on Switch 2 dev kits, and possibly since July, pushing us closer and closer to the Switch 2 launch than ever before. I'll remind you that in a week and a half's time, we do have another investors call. November 7th, I believe, is a Nintendo investor meeting, and I am very curious to see what is said there, what is revealed, how they shape and frame things. It's going to be super interesting. Plus, good job, Mario. You're absolutely crushing it, and I've got more coverage of that game coming your way soon, so check those videos out. Until next time, everybody, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Love you lots. SwitchForce out.